And welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. It is Sunday at 10:30. You know what that means. It is back in the driver's seat. We are here with Corey Renforth, the illiterate cowboy speaking, the bandit. Are you illiterate, or is it just you can't speak?
You can't read, right?
Well, you said you don't like text messages. I just figured you can't get them out there.
I mean, I can't read. I just don't like text.
Either way, we are here with the Boomhauer Bandit himself, the driver of the 43 car, and he's getting text messages now.
Look at his hair.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's good, man. Look at that. That is prime shape.
Like a maniac. It's great.
Back to his usual tactics, showing up here about 5 minutes before the show. And he brings a guest with him here today, which we'll get to in just a moment. Core, last night didn't make it out to the regular raceway, but you were sharing, which there was some big stuff going on out there. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so SRX had their season finale out there. It's Tony Stewart's deal. He started that league. And they just do like 6 races a year. I ran into Jerry Langley, and he was talking about how that I think they set a record for tickets. They sold the place out. Like,
yeah,
they had the infield like full, like you could take chairs and sit in the infield. So I thought it was a little dangerous.
Yeah,
somebody lose, but they had cement barriers around there. But I think they said it seats like 8,000, but they sold like 12,000 tickets. So it's like But Jerry was saying like you get and they got great race car drivers that race there every weekend. Like,
he's on our one of these.
Blaney.
Thank
Blaney
you.
was there last night, and Dave Blaney, even that he's part owner of that.
Yeah.
So, but they have great weekly drivers there that run modifieds, sprint cars, all that stuff, wingless sprints. But they don't sell the place out. So it just shows you, and like I said, I was actually going to pay attention.
Yeah.
That these two names, these two guys, Chase Elliott and Ryan Blaney, well, if you can get people's names out there and they know who they are, people will show up to watch them. That kind of you kind of realize that these two guys might not be the best race car drivers that race there weekly, but they're the biggest names that were there. People knew who they were, so it kind of shows like, oh yeah, you get people's notoriety out there. People are going to come to see them, and you're going to sell out more tickets than you have available.
My buddy Steve says it was a great night for the sport.
Yeah, it was. And it's because you got guys like Kyle Larson. He goes to small tracks and races like anything and everything. And man, they probably are turning people away to like. And he is an amazing race car driver, but it only takes that one guy to show up, or one guy or people know, like, I can watch this guy all the time. Like, I see him all the time. Like, so like, I paid attention to that, and that's kind of what we're trying to do here.
How does that happen? Well, yeah, with this show, how does that happen? Like to bring someone of that stature that races on regular Sundays.
It does help that Dave Blaney owns that.
Sure.
So he has a pipeline there. Like, I remember as a kid going there and watching, like, Tony Stewart's always been there. It was like Tony Stewart night. It started out as NASCAR night, but then like it ended up where it was like Tony Stewart and like one other guy. So it just became Tony Stewart night.
Yeah.
And then like there's other NASCAR drivers that came with him too still. But I mean, Tony Stewart's like the dirt track god almost. Like he's amazing at that stuff. But
that's got to be exciting for a promoter. I saw the tweet go out. Mike Ackelson, who's he works here at YSN. He's part of the family. He's actually the announcer out at Sharon, and he retweeted what I thought was really cool, and it made me smile because you sit there and you get a tweet that says, "We're sold out. Do not show up unless you have a ticket."
Oh, dude, they were asking, like, you're driving in on the road. They had like Sharon Speedway staff, like, on the roads going in, they stop you like, you got tickets? And you're like, yeah. I guess because if you're like, no, they're like, don't even try.
Yeah.
See you later, boys. I mean, they had people parking like a mile away. Like, they were like busting people.
Was anybody scalping tickets?
I don't know. The way that Simpletix works,
yeah.
I don't know. Like,
I don't know you can do it.
You can print them out, but I just screenshot them.
Yeah.
Use the QR code. I mean, I guess they have to get in with the times, I guess, on that type of stuff. But I don't know. There was a guy that we don't when we were leaving, my brother's like, that guy he had like a ladder against the fence, like out of the back of his van. So my brother's like, did that guy have that there like the whole time? I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't remember looking over and seeing anybody sitting on top of a ladder. Like he might have been like, I mean, they weren't checking your tickets out on the road.
Yeah.
So all you had to do is say
Just
yes.
asking. Yeah.
Yeah, but I imagine if you said no, they were like, don't even try it. Like we got nothing. I think I saw somebody that might have bought tickets through like a third party.
Yeah.
And they weren't real because I saw somebody like doing the whole like hands on their head.
Oh,
and they were like,
my
no,
gosh.
you gotta, like, yeah, the lady looked like she was giving the old like, ain't nothing we can do for you, man. We got more than we can handle. We're covered up.
Was it elbow to elbow last night?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah.
It's pretty tight.
I mean, I'm sure they didn't have as many people in that infield as they thought because they didn't really like. You had to kind of read the fine print to know that you could just bring chairs and go sit in the infield there with a general admission ticket. Like, some people might think that's another ticket.
Yeah.
Like you're sitting in the infield. So it's like
you're not going crisscross applesauce on the infield.
No,
you need a
you had to bring a chair. It was pretty muddy out there. It looked like seen a lot of people getting out there and like beating their shoes off.
I saw there was a lot of rain. We didn't get a drop here. I thought that was pretty interesting.
It rained hard one time for like 5 minutes, maybe 10. And then it was like done. That was it.
Well, was it a good time?
It was a good time. It was, I mean, live events on TV are vastly different. Like,
oh yeah.
I've gone to one college basketball game. It was a Pitt basketball game. I didn't realize how many like breaks they took.
Yeah.
You have like TV timeouts.
Uh-huh.
There's timeouts. I was like, man. I was like, seems like they take a lot of breaks.
Did they have that last night as well?
Yeah, there were some times where they were like, we're gonna do a couple extra caution laps for commercial breaks. And, if they went to commercial, if they had a caution, they'd go commercial, and they'd like just go around here for a little bit till we come out in this commercial break.
That's interesting. I didn't know that they would. I didn't know how they would do that, but yeah,
and that series kind of works like that. So they do like 2 heats, 10-minute heats plus 1 lap.
Mm.
Like Formula One does, their races are like an hour and a half plus 1 lap. So it's like 90 minutes plus 1 lap.
Yeah.
Which is a smart way to do it.
Get those bills paid.
Yeah, I mean, because now you know how long the race is going to be.
Yep.
You don't have to guess. Like, if we have more cautions, like, we have our races in the dwarf cars. If that race can be anywhere from 16 minutes to an hour and a half.
Yep.
Like, so if you say, hey, this race is 45 minutes plus 1 lap, you might get in like 100 laps.
Yeah.
If you're really wheeling, nobody has a caution, or you might just get in 20 laps or 15 laps.
But exposure, I think, to kind of put a bow on this conversation, exposure is key.
Yeah.
It is so key to this, and that's why, you and I talk about frustrations, and some of the racers now talk about the frustrations of getting the exposure, getting that track that you go to every Saturday night packed. But it's hard to do that with the lack of exposure. When the racers, the drivers are up against it on their own, they can only reach their network.
Well, that SRX series, that's only going to bring, without Ryan Blaney and Chase Elliott, they're selling like 7,500 tickets.
Yeah.
You had these 2 young guys in. And as I was telling Jerry, I was like, Jerry, if you look around here, there's a lot more women under the age of 40 than there ever are at this track.
Yep.
Because those 2 young guys are here. Like, it changes. Now you're bringing in, and you got young guys too. Like,
I mean, that's the Corey Renforth factor. There's a lot of underage 40-year-olds that come to that racetrack on Saturday nights, looking for that cowboy hat. So we have
phone numbers in there.
Like a feather in your cap, literally. Special guest here, Brian Bailey joins us. Do you want to tee this up for us? Or?
Good artist. He's half-ass truck driver.
Thank you very much.
He makes all kinds of nice things, as we can see here.
We can't see. We got to hold him up.
I'm going to let him show him. And he's a good dude. He did my helmet that we showcased on here.
We love that. That was a beaut, Clark. She's a beaut.
So
yeah, I didn't have any other helmets or anything like that I could have brought with me also, because that was the first one I've ever done.
That's amazing. And it was good work.
So forth. And then I recently acquired some extra, I should say, donations because I talked to different people on my route. So I figured, well, one guy happens to ride bikes. I asked him, I said, hey, do you got any helmets you're not using? Something that I can do extra experiments on, evil scientist stuff. And he was more than happy. He gave me 2 different helmets. Well, one's like a motocross helmet, and the other one is like a half helmet, and so forth. So I got some ideas in the works for those. I actually got a bike tank given to me.
Oh, wow.
From one of our other drivers. He gave me a bike tank to do some stuff on. It's a Harley tank. So I got grand plans for that one as well. And then just, and I did his helmet.
Yeah.
So,
which we loved.
And then the whole concept and design for that helmet was centered around what the car is, basically the colors of the car. And I even told him, I said, when he showed me the pictures of the car, I was like, I'm not painting it that green because I didn't like it.
Yeah.
It was like, it's kind of flat.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, we'll figure something out. So I did a couple of, actually, my tile pieces. I painted different colors of tile, and then I incorporated some other things on them to achieve the gold, which I was looking for the helmet. And I had all these different ones, and then I'm like, okay, here's one that looks like if it was just white.
Yeah.
And this was on a black tile, and then I had a green tile and a gold tile, and then choose the ones that you wanted. And then he said he liked the gold one, and I was like, but in my head, I'm thinking, but how am I going to incorporate green and gold together? So the whole idea is to, when you're spraying the effects over top of gold, to try to get those, you have to use more transparent colors than you do opaque colors because they'll cover it up. So, and then when I started blasting the gold color across the helmet, and I did it over green, thinking that, well, the green was going to kind of dumb it down a little bit in color, but it was going to be kind of like see through it a little bit. Didn't turn out that way at all. It was like once I started going to gold and I started getting all the gold, basically the gold flake on the helmet, it just completely saturated, covered it up. So I was like, I don't know what to do with this. So I went back and I thought about it again, because it took me how long?
It was a while. I think it gave it to you in it would have been like November last year before Christmas, I think.
Right.
Yeah,
so it because like I said, because we drive for a living and we don't get home till late some days.
Sure.
I only have dealing with a 10-year-old and wife and house and all the other stuff. It's not, it's difficult to try to squeeze in extra time for these projects that I'm doing.
Sure. This is a side hustle. Really. Yeah, it is.
It is, but that's why I don't advertise
and
I don't put myself out there. I've had a lot of people ask me, you got to go on YouTube or put it on Marketplace or whatever. And I'm thinking, okay, if I do that, and if everybody and their brother wants something done, then that puts me in more of a bind because now I have to try to come up with ideas for whatever's going on.
Yeah, you're in over your head.
And then I have to still do this job, and drive all day. And
everybody wants it tomorrow.
And then, and if that be the case, now, luckily, just by, because I work by word of mouth, I've had a lot of people to, they don't require it to be done right now. Yeah. So they give me an X amount of time. Case in point, the last guy made a set of cornhole boards for me. I did all Cleveland teams on the cornhole boards, and I did it all in graffiti.
Oh, wow.
And it's like your wall here, which on a brick wall type thing, but I made it look like a cinder brick wall instead of white. Yeah. Because most of them do it like on white. Because if you watch t-shirt guys on YouTube or anything, they do a lot of on white backgrounds.
Because it pops.
And because it sticks out. Yeah. And I was like, well, I want to do the complete opposite, because that's how I work, is the complete opposite of what the norm is.
Yeah.
So, and then I chose to do it on like a cinder brick type wall instead. And then it kind of looks like the boards kind of look like it's in an alley, like in a back corner somewhere. And then it's got like I put Cleveland as the staple at the top. So I kind of kept that all pretty much together in the same manner.
Sure.
But when I did all the other, like all styles of letterings, and I did all the team colors for the letters themselves.
Gotcha.
So all I did was I just reversed them in, like I put, for instance, calves were like wine and gold color.
Yep.
So I used the wine for the middle part of the letter, and then the gold outside
To make it pop, make it stand out.
And then on the other board, I did the complete opposite. So I traded off
Gotcha.
on different styles, different techniques on how to do the graffitis,
Yeah.
style letterings, because I wanted it to make it look like 4 or 5 other people did it, not one person.
Gotcha.
And that was my whole premise about doing that.
So I guess, how do you get started in this? I mean, just an art guy and enjoyed art?
Well, from when I was a kid,
Yeah.
I used to draw all the time. And what I used to draw as a kid all the time was hot rods.
Okay.
And when my brother, like 90% of my family is all car guys.
Yeah.
And so forth. So when I got older, my parents did not want me to be a car guy because they're the backyard mechanics,
Yeah.
so to speak. But I don't know. It's kind of in you at this point when you have all your brothers do nothing, work on cars. You're going to kind of follow that suit, I think, unless you're just out there in left field somewhere.
Do you remember your first commissioned job?
My first commissioned job, like what I got paid for.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody goes, "Hey, I want you to do this for me."
It was a canvas art piece.
Okay.
It was a space scene, and the space scene and I don't have that picture here, but I sold it to one of my people on my route.
Yeah.
Because talking about art stuff or whatever, and she had asked me, do you have anything like in space scene stuff? And I've got a couple of pictures with like I do it in spray paint, and I have some done in airbrush. I have some done in a plethora of other things like my cups here and some of my tile pieces. These are all incorporated different things on these objects to achieve a common goal. To make it stand, whether it's to stand out or something that's unique and different. And 90% of most of the stuff I've done is usually one-off things.
Yeah.
Like if you said, "Hey, can I get that same thing?" I could do that same thing. Will it look like that? Probably not.
No, it's going to have a little bit of a unique difference to it. One of a kind.
Because then you have to consider your materials that you use, what you use then, because let's say it was 4 years down the road. The materials you used 4 years ago on that same thing, and they want that, might be different.
Yeah.
So, but it always changes. That's what I like about it, is it allows me the freedom to do stuff that's, you don't see. You don't normally see it, and so forth. A lot of artists that I've seen watching YouTube or even talking to other people, they have a tendency they have a style. You get that one person that does canvas art pieces. They may have one particular thing that they do. They may have others, but you really don't see that because they're noted for that.
Right.
Or I watch a lot of Tumblr cup videos. And one thing I found out is that 90% of people who all do this are all women.
Oh.
There's very few guys that do Tumblr cups. Then the ones that do them, they do them just like the women do them. I'm like, I don't want to do that.
So there's a major difference in the market between what you do and what people do on their Cricut, and then essentially sell out.
Yes, there's a lot of stuff that they do on the the cricket videos and all the stuff that they see online. And kudos to those folks
Sure.
that do that, because they do a lot of really cool looking stuff.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of glitter.
Corey loves glitter.
You want next time I do a helmet for you.
Please.
I'm gonna glitterify it.
Yeah.
Rainbow.
Unicorn glitter.
Yes, we could do that. We could do a Deadpool with riding a unicorn.
There we go.
You know,
I like it. He'll wear it. He'll wear anything.
you know, it's just that's just the way that it rolls. And then, like I said, those folks that do that sort of thing is pretty cool, because that's crafting.
Mm-hmm.
They do crafts. Now, is it artistical in the sense that they what they're putting together? Probably so, but a lot of the ones that I've seen, you know, I don't usually see them actually with airbrushes and paint brushes and actually painting the actual picture on, you know, the cups, or on, some do, like I said, some of them out there that do, but I think I have semi kind of unique way of doing it, because I have so many different options of actually putting the stuff on there, and that's what's interesting as far as, you know, doing the artwork itself.
I'm gonna try something real quick to get your art. Oh,
Third.
look at that! There, you see it there. There we go.
Back of the actual cup, and then on this one it's just got, you know, a honeycomb design, and on this one I decided to put actual physics equations on the cup, because, you know, Tony Stark was all about technology, you know, that sort of stuff.
And we're gonna see some work from your.
I got a couple of these are canvas art pieces here. That one was just, and these three are, I think they're all the military ones that I did. These are a combination of airbrushing, vinyl print, and they call it pouring style paintings. There's that one, then there's the Navy one.
Oh wow!
Or I mean the Air Force one.
Yeah.
And this is probably one of the first ones I did with doing that style.
Oh, there you go.
And I actually got a couple other folks that I've had. I got a guy that, again, over in my area, I had a guy that was in the Navy. He was in the Seabees. So I did a picture for him with the Navy Seabees and stuff. And I did it, his is a canvas art piece. And then I did another, a cup for Bob Ritchie. I did a cup for him, which was done by the Navy cup.
Yeah.
Done the same way this is here with the, it looks like it's streaking and running. It's actually on the cup itself. And then I put his ship on the bottom end and his name on the back of it. And then these two are, this is one of the very first airbrush pictures I did. And then this one here is something I was just toying around with, and I did this on a canvas board. And then on all that this is a water slide transfer image. And I did the water slide transfer image, and I put it on the canvas, so it looks like it's basically on the canvas, like somebody painted it. Because a lot of people ask me, "Did you paint that on there?" And I'm like, "No,
Not bad. Oh, we're gonna boot that out.
Echo. No.
There we go.
The,
It's a challenge. We're running on duct tape and chicken wire here.
duct tape and chicken wire.
Hey, it gets lost up. CBS was running on that last night.
Those
too.
are-
Were they?
Yeah,
Those
they-
are probably pretty much the ones that I just figured I'd show
Sure.
just for, what it is.
Oh, it's
that-
awesome
that
stuff.
I do.
I love it. And obviously I'm in love with your helmet, man. Now, was it? I can't remember. Was it like snake skin? It looked like.
Yeah, but he did that with like a doily.
Yeah. Which is, it is. I mean, resources, right? That's use what you have available to you.
Well, being that there's so many different styles and different ways of achieving certain goals
Mhm.
in whatever it is that you're doing, it's just a matter of what you're going to use on that particular object at the time. Like in his helmet's case, it's really not a snake skin.
Mhm.
My wife was throwing out a throw over thing,
Yeah.
and it's like it's knitted type thing. It's really thin material. So I was like, "What are you going to do with that?" She said she was going to throw it out. Well, I've watched a bunch of different videos on bike tanks, helmets, things like that, where they've taken lace. They do this with lace. A lot of your old school lowrider, for instance,
Yeah.
lowrider graphics and stuff. They do a lot with lace patterns and on their cars. And what I found is that like you should take the pattern, you droop it over your thing, and you add your whether it's your shadings or your colors in that area, and then when you peel it off, you have this unique pattern that's left on the whatever it is that they're doing. So in his case, I had to find something that was going to conform to the helmet to be able to put a pattern on it. So the helmet was already gold at this point.
Mhm.
And now I'm on this stage where I take this thing she was going to throw out, and I'm like, I know, I'll stick this on it and then just shoot some black over top of it. Now, the key thing with doing that particular style, that design, is that being that you're on a rounded object,
Sure.
being able to stretch it and leave it there. And what I find is that in that case, you have to get that color that laid out like first time around, because if you have to pull it off and pull it back on, it's not going to, you're going to have a hard time lining it back up to get, like if you had because if you notice that there's little light patches, like it's lighter and a little heavier in spots, that's the problem you have with that. Now, the only way you can really correct that is that whatever gun you're using, that you're shooting an even pattern over the whole entire thing at the same time. And, then when you peel it off, that's what you get. Sometimes it's you can get lucky enough to put it back on.
Yeah.
And then,
But it's tough.
But it's hard to get to match it up unless you have a way of getting it like I've noticed a lot of people will do. They'll spray adhesive on the back of something just lightly enough to where it's just slightly tacky.
Yep.
And then you'll stick it on there, wrap it, let it set for a minute, spray, and then when they peel it off, then they can lay it back down.
Yeah.
But you're dealing with stretchy material.
Oh, that's it. Because you're never, very, very rarely are you going to get the same lay the second time around.
Right. So unlike paper or heavy base paper or a vinyl print stuff, if anything that you cut out of vinyl, that where it's it's sticky, you can peel it off, and then lines are easy because you can just lay it right up against your line, go over it, and then you're good. But when you're dealing with like lace pattern or like in this case, sweater pattern,
Cardigan. Taylor Swift's cardigan.
Yeah, that's it. But that's how that look came
I like
about.
it. It looks good. It looks good. Were you happy with it when you laid it down the first time? That's a no.
It-
No artist is ever happy with the way things go.
Well, one thing that I've always done is that, like, in every piece that I've done like this, I've had people ask me, which one's your favorite? Which one do you like the most? And I said, well, they're all pretty good. I don't think that in any artist you can look at, you can get another guy in here. He can bring you realism, to his artwork.
Sure.
And then you would say, okay, well, is that artist better than the other artist? I don't look at it that way. Every artist artistic ability is up to interpretation, depending on what that, like you, for instance, you may be like more into like baseball, and football, sports oriented stuff. So when you look at an art piece from that, you may be looking at something that's completely different than what I'm looking at, because I'm kind of on the idea that I look at the art in a different way than you may look at it.
Right.
So my interpretation and your interpretation is always going to be different, and it's just a matter of what catches your eye and what looks good and what's different.
Since you guys were talking about glitter, you ever seen Bass Boat?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That's what Nick was saying.
Real quick, we only have a couple minutes left. We're here with Brian Bailey, who is an artist here locally. Does a lot of great stuff. Tile. We're seeing these tumblers, canvas, all kinds of stuff, and helmets. Brian, if someone wants to get you kind of commissioned to do their helmet the way you did for Corey's, how do they reach you?
You could either, if they know you, then like I said, it's just
word of mouth
type of thing.
And what are they looking at, like, price wise, like just to gauge it in their head? We're not trying to get you more business technically, but hey, if someone likes what Corey's rocking on his dome, they're gonna say, hey, how did you do that? Who did that for you?
Right. The best way to act, like I said, actually for contact reasons, is just
reach out to Corey.
If that's what you got to do.
That means people actually have to talk to him, though.
Yeah, I know. I understand.
He won't understand what I'm telling him. People are like, "Where's this helmet?" I didn't understand a word he said.
As far as cost goes, most of, like what I said, like these ones, like this and this. Obviously, everything's going to be different. Like the cups, for instance, I usually start those out around about $35.
Not bad. Washable.
Yes.
Nice.
Not in a dishwasher though.
Okay, just hand wash.
Even if you buy a tumbler straight from the store, even
still got hand wash.
Hand wash only. Now most of these are clear coated like 2 or 3 times, and I use pretty much a 2K clear on those. It's basically automotive grade stuff. Because of that reason, I figured that way it stays looking like that all the time.
Looks good.
I've had all the people that I've made those for so far, I have asked them, I said, so how's your cup holding up? Is it good? Is it not fading? It's not, clear coat's not chipping or anything like that. And they all tell me the same thing. They don't use it.
It's a collection piece.
It sits on their shelf.
I like it.
But
you want people to use this stuff.
Doesn't matter. That's entirely to you. I mean, if you want to buy it for a showpiece, that's great. If you want to use it, that's even better. This one here actually has tea in it, so it's,
nice.
This is my cup.
Your personal cup.
Yeah. So I
funny enough, Corey hasn't used his helmet yet.
Well, Rich Johnson was talking about that last night. Said some blasphemous things about me. We won't mention them here. We got a little heated.
Oh boy.
I still love him though.
But like the canvas pieces, I actually was gonna when I originally did these ones, I was gonna sell these, and they ended up sitting on my wall because I had sold one of them. I had an Army one that I sold, and so forth. And I sold those for about $125.
Wow, that's good stuff
and stuff like that. Now, like this was just doodling around.
Yeah,
with that. This I did as my, like when I was first doing the airbrushing stuff. I was just figuring stuff out how to do it.
Yep.
And when I made this is actually on poster board.
Ah,
So, and that's my doodles on the back. So, and this was just like a lot of this stuff. It's like practice.
Yeah.
Practice doing this, practice doing that, and so forth. So, and I never got around to actually doing an actual piece to where it could be framed or nice looking or anything like that. So, and then I got inundated with doing the cornhole board set, the helmet, and then all these different cups. And then just one idea after the next just started kicking in, and I started, well, let's do some tiles, And speaking of which, this tile here, this was basically the coloration, not the design, but the coloration is what I was looking for his helmet. That was what I was looking for.
sharp.
But again, when I this color came out on his helmet, but it was like obviously brighter gold than this, but that's how I did it. And then I overlaid green and yellows on top of it, and in transparent colors to get that look. That was what I was trying to get with his helmet. And again, being that it was the first one I ever done, I wasn't sure how that was going to come out. Now I did do the around the top of the helmet where it's got the green stripe with the green stripe pattern. That was done that way.
So if you were going to do another helmet, just for the sake of someone was asking, hey, I love what Corey did with his helmet. What would you charge for that? And it can be in the neighborhood. It doesn't have to be exact, because I'm sure the more, I don't know, the more things that you have to do, the longer it takes you to do it, the more cost is going to be associated.
Yes.
Intricate.
Intricate.
The illiterate guy will help you out with your.
Listen to this guy. Intricate.
Spell
it. Spell it.
Hey, we don't get into that now.
I've watched a lot of helmet videos.
Yeah.
I actually did a lot of research on costs.
Yeah.
And a lot of people and a lot of folks that I've seen do this on helmets. And this is just even basic color, nothing else on it. And they usually start them out around $500-$600.
And you provide the helmet, or they provide the helmet?
For me, I choose to let them buy their helmet and then give it to me to do, versus me buying a helmet, because I could buy you a helmet and you'll probably go, I'm not really liking that helmet. The helmet itself. I'm just saying the helmet itself. I may not buy.
That's fair. I mean, that's a fair price.
Just like the cups. I tell people to buy it. If you want a cup done, you want me to pick a cup, just any cup and do it, great. If you choose your cup how you want it, then I'll work what I got to work.
Yeah.
It's just like all the other ones, the same way. And I would say probably it would be very in design too, because then the more design, like for instance, if you wanted all of this on a helmet, for instance, I would say I would probably charge you probably somewhere in the neighborhood of $300 or $400.
There you go.
Fair
Fair enough. And that's a lot of work. A lot of work goes into that.
It is, and I've had a lot of people that I've talked to about cost, and they $500-$600 or whatever. I've seen some that are going $800-$900.
Sure.
Depending on what they want, and so forth. But I'm under the stickler of, if I go out and I look at a cup and I see that, I would pay $35 for that.
Sure.
I would pay $35 for that. I'd pay $40-$45 for this, for instance. I don't feel that it needs to be a thing where, I got to make as much money on this as possible.
Sure.
I might charge you $100.
Yeah.
For a cup.
Yeah.
Realistically, I don't do that. I'll do it by basically design work, how much time it takes me to do it.
Always.
And
it's like you're getting a car painted, really.
Yeah. I mean, materials are fairly reasonable nowadays with the gas prices,
inflation.
Inflation has gone up, but I don't feel that what I do is going to affect that at all.
Inflation proof.
Yeah.
I like it.
So I try to keep it more reasonable just so that, if somebody comes, like you said, comes up and says, hey, what do you charge for that? I'm like, $30-$35, depending on what else you want on it.
Sure.
If you want more stuff and it takes a little bit more time, it might be a little bit more, but 9 times out of 10, I just try to stick with the same thing.
All right, man.
That way it's consistent.
Brian Bailey, the legend of art here for all
I don't know
intents and purposes.
I don't know about
Intents
legend.
and purposes. You didn't know that was the way it goes. Intricate. How's that for a word? Corey, obviously, people want to know kind of the last ride here for the day.
There's a few things.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
think Steve
Give it a ride.
I think Steve had a question on there. I have raced at Sharon before.
Okay.
It was beautiful. I mean, I spun out once, got sent to the back with like 3 laps left. So I went from 16th to 7th in like 1 lap. And that was when Taylor Sukon was like, yeah, you just passed me, and then you spun out. And then 1 lap later, you passed me again. Yeah, because I was riding that high side. And you could even watch last night, them guys come out of 2 and into 3. Like, I remember passing like 3 or 4 cars going down that backstretch, going into 3 and 4. It was like, that was a good feeling, like, you know. But and Taylor, Nick Grove's girlfriend,
Yes,
she makes cups and stuff like that and stuff like this specific to racing.
Yeah,
out of good. So if you want to get on Taylor's Crafty Boutique on Facebook, she can do anything specifically out there at the track. So
very cool.
People, they can get a hold of her. If you don't want to go through me to go, if you don't want to go through 3 different parties here,
let's make it clear. Nobody wants to go through you.
Yeah, nobody wants to deal with me.
Nobody wants to pick up the phone and call you.
So, I mean, it is.
Brian, you need a new point of contact, man. Like that.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll work on that.
You're a new agent. But yeah, I mean, Sharon, it was like, it was so fun. Like, so you watch the GoPro, it looks like it's wet. It's real shiny.
Yeah.
But it was dry as all heck.
yeah.
It's just the way that clay is. It's so wide. Like, you feel like, especially in our cars, like, you feel like you can like, just go anywhere you want to. And it truly is a place where if you run high, you can like just flat out go. And like our average speeds, I think they were saying in our dwarf cars were faster than them guys in those SRX cars last night. But yeah, so they just all how it gets put down. And they got more weight, they got more horsepower, but they got more weight. But those little dwarf cars can really rock around there because it's grippy. Even when it was dry, it still had a lot of grip to it. That clay. Although everybody said it was like driving, they had me scared to death. They were like, it's like driving on ice. I was like, man, we got different opinions of driving on ice. Like, I don't know what the heck you guys are talking about. I had all kinds of control.
A couple shout outs before we go. A couple big winners last night. Jake Eakin got the checker flag. Who else? Teddy Williams got the checker flag as well. So congratulations.
Yanni got one in the compacts.
So congratulations to all of those out there hustling and driving their cars the way they need to be driven. So that's going to do it for our show today. I know we kicked it into a little bit of overtime, some extra laps for you here this morning, but we will catch up with you next Sunday right here on In the Driver's Seat on your sports network. Thanks to Brian, to Corey, and that's going to do it for our show today. And again, tune in next time here on In the Driver's Seat. YSN thanks you for watching